Hello! Hey guys, and well, thanks for joining. It's Bartosz Czauderna coming all the way from Poland. First of all, please let me know if you guys can hear me. So we're just sitting out, we had some issues with the video and the sound, so please send me a thumbs up, and we're gonna be kicking off in a minute right now after I hear back from you. So hopefully all is good, all is working, and yeah, I'm excited to run our second session. So just to fill everybody in, we are running an indoor coaching session. I'll be running you through some flat ground exercises. Today we are gonna be aiming for double pump, cartwheel, loop, and Space Godzilla. Alright, so everybody who's interested in that, who wants to improve their technique and see some training drills that are gonna help you with staying fit, are gonna help you with dealing your moves, or just even understanding them. Well, that's the place to be. So hopefully you guys will stay with me. It should take half hour, maybe 1 hour. We're gonna see somewhere between that. I'm also very talkative, so it might take a while. So what you gonna need? You're gonna need mat, which is whichever mat for training, which is nice and soft for all the rolling we'll be doing. I will be totally comfortable on the floor, but that's also something I would recommend to have. Yeah, something I would ask you to bring a broom, bring a stick, wherever you guys have. I used to have a spare on the previous one, so the broom, I just clipped it off. It's totally fine. It's actually gonna be really good if you had a proper broom, because it's gonna be really easy to address the active blade. And yeah, well, that's what we're gonna be working with today. So thanks Al for letting me that you can hear and see me. So if you guys like something, please let me know. Send me the likes, thumbs up, and I would really appreciate some comments. If you guys like the stuff, if there are any questions, if anything is not clear, feel totally free and ask them straight away, please. So yeah, we're gonna give it a few minutes. You know, big YouTubers say that we're not gonna start until it hits 1000, so maybe one day, but we're gonna kick in any minute right now. So since the sound is working and you guys can see me, I'll just give you things. I would really encourage you guys to practice with me at the same time. So that'll be, you know, it's nice to come back and watch everything we're working at, but if you do it at the same time, it might be one thing, a nice workout, and second thing, it might be you know, just good practice to follow some moves and try to understand them at the same time. And then you're gonna see, okay, that was unclear, and you can ask the questions. All right. So again, guys, Bartosz Czauderna, dialing in from Poland. I'm running Love It Live It, so coaching, bringing people around the world for kayaking, pretty epic things. And today I'm gonna run you through double pump, cartwheel, loop, and Space Godzilla flat ground exercises starting indoors. Alright, well, I guess everything is working fine. We will be kicking off, so I have all your comments and all the anything that's happening over here, so please let me know if anything's happening. I'll be just moving it a little bit to the side, and hopefully everybody's ready, having a mat, having a broom, and we're gonna be just a small thing here, and we're gonna be kicking off with first thing, a double pump. Right? So, well, actually the plan was to do a cartwheel, but we can't talk cartwheel without addressing the double pump. So the first trick is a double pump. It's kind of a technique that you know, it opens up so much. It opens up not only freestyle as for cartwheels, but it opens up so many possibilities. It can be useful for trying tricks down the river, like kick flips, like macho moves on the waves. It can open up for tricks down the waterfalls. You know, when you actually get that boost throw, it's very similar. You're gonna see it in a second right now. And if you wanna throw that free roll down the waterfall, or if you just want to do a cartwheel in the future, and just a boost stroke off a hole or something. So that's a very important technique that if you take a close look, you're gonna be able to see that actually it is used all the time. So double pump, here we go. first thing, I'm gonna be showing you some techniques and letting you know how to do them, and then we're gonna be bringing up some exercises, right? So a double pump, pretty much, it is getting your boat on the edge. So please imagine I'm sitting in a kayak. The reason I am not is actually because now we can see my legs and what's happening with my legs, and that's really essential for this kind of movement. So if you can see, I'm already edging, and what's going to be happening, I'm actually going to perform a sweep stroke all the way to the back, and in the back I'm going to push near my tail while still being on the edge. I'm going to push and my foot is going to go down. Okay, so again, look at the sweep stroke, and when that sweep stroke comes in, this foot goes up, so the lower foot, and then when the push comes in, the upper foot goes down. Alright? So just to understand the drill, I'm sure you guys see people going like on the wire and pull like this. Alright? That should be a familiar exercise. So let's break it down to the smaller things. A sweep stroke, very basic stroke. We take it from the bow all the way, going horizontal, move the computer a little bit, horizontal, wide half circle, all the way to the tail. My whole blade was in the water, right? So we'll have to agree with that. Whole blade goes all the way to the tail. That's a sweep stroke. Why is it in a double pump, a sweep stroke instead of a power stroke? A power stroke finishes at the hip. And also a power stroke it would be going very close to your edge, while a sweep stroke goes far. And what happens by edging, we actually change our reference point towards the surface. So if you can see me throwing a sweep stroke now, right? So that this blade goes really deep now. Well, not really deep, like naturally deep for a sweep stroke. It's gonna go all the way from the bow to the tail, and despite working near your boat, it's gonna work nice and deep, giving you all the elevation you need, right? Now, what needed is a strong core, right? To be able to hold it. A couple exercises for you guys. So definitely a balanced sit, yeah? So sitting balance, your feet up, hands straight, trying to hold it as an exercise. You can use your paddle, you can do paddling. All of those things we'll be doing in our first session, which actually I should be tell a little bit more about that. But and now what you can do are horizontal rotations. So now you think about it, whenever I make my left sweep stroke, my lower foot goes up. When I do my sweep push, my right foot pushes forward. Hopefully that makes sense, guys. And you can see, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to balance it up. Right? So you can see, this is actually the same exercise. See if you can do it as a balance, then do it on the edge, and then finally, then do it with the horizontal rotations, and finally try doing it on the edge, right? So that's one exercise for you. And second exercise, hopefully you guys can see that chair. What I want you to do, get to just pick a chair and an object that's a little bit high, higher than you're sitting. That would be a good referral. Close your hand on it, lean towards it a little bit. So you're sitting on your leading hip, and press your higher foot on the ground. Alright, so it's flat on the ground. What you want to do, you want to press on your hand and on your foot to elevate your hips. So this kind of one-legged squat lift-ups are gonna help you develop the diagonal stomach muscles. That will help you work on your double pump, alright? Always do it both ways, work on your both sides. Double pump is one of the biggest steps in kayaking in general, because it actually requires, you know, from this, after the basic and flat moves, you actually start getting like vertical, you know, you want to start getting your boat elevated. And it actually requires quite a bit of core work, of power, and yeah, you just need to really put into it. And it takes a while, alright? So don't get demotivated, keep working hard, and you simply have to get your core and muscles stronger, alright? And this is one of the greatest exercises that you can do indoors working on it, alright? I did mention our previous session. So in the previous session we were talking pretty much about how to stay fit, what exercise to do when you're at home. And so please check it out. We did it on Sunday, so not the last one but the one before. So check it out, you know, check it for exercises. We did a spin and a Felix there. And yeah, if you have any questions, definitely hit me up. But yeah, well, let's continue with our double pump. Hopefully that's clear and you guys understand how this exercise can work. Okay, so after we got the initial movement of a double pump and we understand how it's gonna work, we're gonna have a look at addressing it as a cartwheel, alright? So double pump pretty much ends with barring your bow, right? So as long as you do one full end from, which is 180 degrees, that's gonna be already one end, okay? So that's the idea with double pump, to bury your bow under. Interesting thing, it can be also used to bury your tail underneath, right? Hey David Hansen, Ottawa, I hope you guys doing well. And something to remember about the double pump itself are the common mistakes, right? What we're talking about here, you guys seen that I told you that we were adding the edge, right? So if you add the edge and you start the sweep and your bow is gonna lift, very often people tend to drop their edge instead of that. And their first part, this switcher, turns them to the side. And instead of using the power, that will be, you know, making a couple of strokes to get quicker or having speed from the while we are sitting at the hull, and their push, their energy, instead of driving their bow in the easiest way, is gonna push their whole boat under. So whole surface that is around your feet, whole bow needs to go under here, alright? And your energy drives in this direction, so it's really easy for you to do this move, alright? And it's gonna be actually quite hard for you to press the bow here. And instead of doing cartwheel this direction, what's gonna happen very often, and I'm sure you guys seen that, somebody goes like this, and then he presses, opens up here a lot, and pulls on their face. So this is a very common mistake that's happening with losing the edge on a double pump. Very often people tend to skip the bow elevation, so instead of doing this and that, people are gonna just do the push, which is not a mistake itself, as long as you are able to do that, alright? So this first part really helps you to time the things and really helps you to do dive the bow. So that's something I really recommend, especially on beginning. And also another thing that likes to happen is after the bow is lifted, the edge is dropped, and instead of having a nice vertical end, it turns into a half spin, alright? So that's something that's I would say like 3 typical mistakes for double pump, right? So now obviously, well, practice in the flower if you can. These days it's best to stay home for a while to keep the virus from spreading, but maybe you have your own pool, maybe you have a small lake just next to, and you know, you can stay isolated away from people. So have a practice on that and have a practice on the flower as well. When you're on the flower, maybe you can find a place where you're gonna rest with your hands, on the sides. You can also practice on the flat ground. Instead of having your feet straight, you're gonna bend them in your knees, and you're gonna be lifting your knees and pushing your knees down. Lifting your knees, look straight, push your knees down, alright? Lift your knees, push your hands down. As soon as your bow starts going down and you are getting to the kind of bow still position, what you're gonna be doing, you're gonna be going for a second part of the double pump. Which is gonna be a rotation of your upper body and catching with your right hand a place where your paddle used to be, right? So again, for a double pump, it's going to be going up here. And as soon as I'm reaching the vertical point, so my tail would be behind me, my right blade is gonna go to the same place where my left blade was. I'm gonna twist, I'm gonna look around all the way through my left shoulder. I'm trying to see the ground on this side. And as soon as that happens, I'm gonna push firmly on my active blade, get on the ground, and bring my legs all the way to the side. Using the brace, I'm gonna get up. Hopefully I'm still on the screen. So that was the cartwheel. That was a quick jump from one to another. Something I wanted to address so that was a whole move presentation, and then we're gonna break it down to smaller bits. Cartwheel is already 2 consecutive ends of 180 degrees, where the bow goes from 45 degrees to 100 degrees. That's how I see it. Definition, and one of the coolest tricks, and that's one of the first one that you're gonna be doing. A cartwheel, in general, not to learn the mistakes, we're gonna be learning from the end, alright? So what you wanna do, I'm just gonna twist my back here and move that a little bit. Alright, so starting on the side, what you guys wanna do, you wanna sit on your hip, put your hand to the side and lie on your back. Alright? So your back is here on the ground, your legs are on your side, and my right blade is above my feet. Alright? So if you think about it, that would be the place where my bow would be. Alright? So what happens now, I want you guys to look up through your shoulder and bring your legs above your head all the way to the other side. Alright, and I'm gonna do it the other direction. So paddle is near the hips, I'm looking to the opposite side, and I'm bringing my feet above my head. Alright? So that is an exercise that actually allows you to control the second end of the cartwheel, and we did the same exercise for a stern square during our first session, right? So check it out. That's the first video we did with Jackson Kayak injured to the core, and now we're gonna have a look at the first part of the double pump. So first part, sorry, I'll be showing the left side again. So first part, again coming back to the double pump. Here the lower foot goes up, and here the upper foot pushes down, right? Remember to fold your knees to maintain your position, and as soon as you get to the vertical point, bring your second leg to the opposite side where your previous hand used to be. Doing that, look for your upper shoulder and slowly get to the ground to bring your legs to the other side. Alright? Hopefully you guys could recognize the second part of the exercise, which was the one we just did before. What's the reason why we did it like this? Well, if you start learning a cartwheel from just a double pump, getting vertical, and you will get to the point where you are actually able to bury your tail, you won't understand the second part of the move. That may lead for you to get bad habits, right? And it's a lot more difficult to get rid of old habits than creating your new ones, right? So that's why we're gonna learn from the back, learning the basics, understanding the ending of the move, and then very easily adding the start of it, right? So that would be a cartwheel, and you can definitely work on it, you know, when you're home. You know, doing those two exercises. It's really important during a cartwheel that your body is gonna stay centered, alright? So if we put a pin from a head, and if you see any kayaker doing cartwheels, his body is gonna stay in the center all the time, alright? So we're gonna work that a little because I'll be twisting, but wherever happens, my head, at least more or less, on the flat ground as much as we can show that, should be staying in the center, right? So there shouldn't be much movement to the front or the back, because every bit of move that you take to obviously make part of it easier, you will have to compensate for it later. So in other words, you will have to pay for it. So if you are too far in the front, well, then you're gonna have to go back for the next end, and that's gonna mean you're gonna go even deeper with your tail end, and it's gonna be even harder to go for the next ones, right? So that was a cartwheel, two main exercises, connecting them together. I would love to see some videos, some pictures of you guys trying it. So if anybody has some pictures, post it to the comments or send them one to me. I had some from the first session, it was pretty cool. And yeah, hopefully you guys will work on it from home. And well, if you have any questions regarding double pump and the cartwheel and your indoor practice, please let me know and see. I'm gonna have a look what we can do. Definitely gonna give you some advices, so hit me up, no worries. And some good tips. If you are back to your boat and you struggle, obviously, and it's gonna take a while, takes around, proper winter of working out, both in the kayak and in the gym to get it down, from somebody learning from scratch. But there are some tricks. Try a smaller boat instead of the boat that is proper review, or try a boat with a smaller bow that's gonna be easier to dig in, alright? So those two things should definitely help you to get through. And one really important thing for cartwheel in general, and even for this exercise, if you watch me again doing it, so I'm gonna bring it down, I'm trying to be all the time in front of the rotation. So whenever the boat is catching up to me, and when I get vertical, I'm gonna be already starting for the third end to go all the way up and be ahead of the rotation. This thing is called anticipation. And anticipating the move means that you're ahead of it. So you're leading the move with your body. Wherever your body goes, your boat will follow, right? So that's a good thing to remember. Same thing was with the spin. First, you look, and then pretty much, even if you don't do too much, the boat is gonna follow, right? So keep that in mind. All right, I'm gonna have a small break, and I'll wait a moment and hear if you guys have any comments. So please let me know, even if you like the stuff, if you feel like something was missing, if you wanted to see a bit more practice regarding one of those two moves, so a double pump, a cartwheel. So yeah, let me know if there is anything you guys would like to hear, if anything is unclear. It's really important to coordinate your paddle and your feet. So working on flat ground is actually really, really important, because here there is no external environment, alright? There is no even flat water volume, even moving water, the white water, nothing is draining you out. All you have to focus at is your own movement, own setup, where your body is, where your blade is, and so on, alright? So take your time, you're at home, and have a good workout with those tricks. Cool. If there are no questions regarding those, we're gonna move to loop and the Space Godzilla. And something I didn't say at first about the double pump and the cartwheel. So whenever we're coaching, we like to address a trick in 4 phases. There is a preparation phase. So this is pretty much when you approach a trick. So where you're like sitting straight, sitting flat, pointing to a direction, and you're gonna be preparing, alright? So for a loop though, we're just sitting straight, body up, both flat and straight perpendicular to the whole line, alright? Then there will be an initiation in a loop. That's gonna be bring your body up, so something that actually starts the trick, to the point where you when you start a trick and you'll be actually plugging with your feet, yeah? So instead of going up first, you plug with your feet and go up, alright? So don't forget about the plug, and so your chest goes a little bit forward in order to bring your bow more under the water, and your feet are gonna be going under the water, and from there you're gonna be going up, and that's a whole initiation phase. And then execution. So when you're at the highest point, you're gonna be folding forward and pulling the boat after you in order to get air. And finally, once you're about to finish the 360 degrees, which is the front loop, there's a landing phase, alright? So that's the last phase. So the same with the cartwheel. Preparation would be getting on a double pump and paddling forward, getting a spit. Then initiation would be actually push stroke, so the second part of the double pump. And then execution would be going on with a cartwheel end, alright? While ending will be landing a cartwheel. Hopefully that's clear, and you can understand the tricks in those 4 phases. Cartwheel could be actually broken into preparation, initiation, execution, initiation of the second end, execution of the second end, and finishing and landing a trick. So, the more advanced trick gets, the more ends it has, and the more phases we might be addressing, but primarily those are the 4 main ones. Cool. So, back to the loop. So, a loop, a front flip, initiating from forward position, 360 degrees loop forward. Quite simple. One of the best feelings you're gonna get in kayaking is being able to throw your kayak into a loop, and the amount of air you get, the amount of pop, it's just epic. So something that all of us really want to do, and always everybody trying to get most of the air. So first thing, initiation. So what you want to do, imagine you're in the hole, right? Imagine you're there, you're getting ready, and you're approaching the feature. You want to be straight, and you want to be perpendicular to the whole line, straight with your body, and flat, alright? So your knees are even, your feet are even, your body is even, alright? So you're ready to start the trick. Then, on the initiation, what you're gonna be doing, you're gonna be moving your whole body forward a little bit. It's maybe 10, maximum 20 degrees of your upper body. But actually what happens, by doing that, you also move your feet down. So along with your body, your feet are going to be pressing down. So what I want you guys to practice is pressing your feet down in order to feel that floor under your feet, alright? Feel the mat just bending a little bit. So that initiation, alright? And what you have to do, you have to stay really strong with your core, and when your bow catches, starts going up, So my feet are already just a little bit under the water. And I'm gonna be holding the position. You see the water is elevating me, I'm still holding the position. And as soon as the boat reaches 70, 80 degrees, so about vertical, I'm gonna be starting to stand up and go for a jump. Alright, so again, going 60, 70, 80, and when I'm actually straight in my boat, that is my deepest point of being submerged, alright? So this is where all my body weight is on my feet, which are there under the water, right? Don't get tricked by those things in the back. And this is the point where your boat is gonna start going up, alright? So as it starts going up, from here, you want to be throwing your hands up and rolling your back, okay? So try to roll your back and bring your hands to the center over here, right? So bring it all the way to the center and hide your head. The quicker you hide your head, the snappier the move is going to be. And roll forward, alright? Then do a small transition here. In order to work on the last part, so hopefully you guys are gonna be able to see, I'm in a position where I just rolled forward and I'm pretty much upside down already. Okay, my legs should be like this. And what's happening here, instead of, and that's a very common mistake, people just fall flat like this. And then you're gonna see like the green water denying them, look, being finished, and so on. Something you really should be working at the execution phase is throwing your legs up in the air, alright? Because that's what you wanna do. You wanna go high with your hips to get the movement. So if you go high with your hips, the amplitude of the trick is going to be higher and your tail is going to have enough place to come under your boat, right? Let's show you the map here. That's going to work. Well, that's a sneaky map. And well, that was the next thing I would like to recommend for you guys if you have time. So it's a good idea for the leader. So from after working your hips up a couple of times, try to work on the jumps from your back. Alright? So trying to get that movement of your hips up to elevate the amplitude of the trick. And after the last phase, when you're coming down, and your tail actually comes under your boat. So you're at this position. So people very often just, try to push forward. But what you have to do, you have to open your body, and it's not only your hands that have to go all the way to the back, giving you extra support here, but pushing your feet down, right? So pretty much smashing it like this in order to finish that amplitude going round and nicely to both finishing the move, alright? So hopefully that's a bit funny and quite active way to work on a loop, but we got a bit of time, so hopefully you guys can work with this a little bit of tumbling. Main things for loop in general is timing and well, keeping your position during the whole move. If you watch pictures of people doing loops learning, very often they're gonna stay strong for initiation, but then they're just gonna go all the way to the front or stay all the way in the back. And all of this causes the boat to go to the left, to the right, and it's gonna get denied in the tail. And one hand is gonna stay in the front and it's gonna twist whole body, right? So keep your basic position, and that's gonna be very strong foundation for that. What happens very often, that one of the blades after the initiation is gonna go the water first, which is gonna cause the water to go on the blades and crook your move, right? I'm sure some of you guys are very familiar with that. That happens a lot. And yeah, well, that's pretty much a very basic drill to work with your loop. And going from there, you guys still here? That's pretty good. So if you had a while where obviously like first thing to try would be doing enders. Very useful things is learning the loops from the bank, because then you don't have to worry about perfect initiation, about timing. There are a lot of things that we are not addressing here, but also this is the safe environment, right? This is the place where you can focus on these little technical details that are going to be really difficult to focus at otherwise. So I do greatly encourage you to work on those tricks. And well, obviously there are tricks to, you know, go even higher in the air and all this stuff. But what I showed you right now is the most basic technique for getting your loop, right? For getting your loop, for understanding it, and for making sure you get it around and sticking it in the future, right? Maybe a recommendation, if you guys want, and you haven't been doing tumbling too much, use your life jacket, use your helmet, right? It's going to be very helpful, especially for those first phases of the loop. So if you throw your loop on the flat ground, you know, it's totally fine. If you guys, you know, roll through your head, remember just to fold your head. So having a helmet will be very, very useful for them, right? So all you do like this, and going all the way to the front. Well, these small things do help a lot, because it is very likely if you struggle with doing a straight forward roll, you will have issues with trying a loop. And where it comes from and where it leads to, very often, you know, one of your hands is going to be lower, right? Or your hips are going to go to the side. So you twist your shoulder a little bit, and then you end up crooking the move, right? So work on those basic gymnastic skills, and they're going to definitely help you with the tricks. And last thing for I just see myself tumbling. It's quite funny. Hopefully you guys find fun as well. Is a Space Godzilla. I'm just thinking on the right angle to show you a drill for that. So from loop to Space Godzilla, yeah, I'm gonna try forwards first. There is actually a lot of similarities. That's why we pair those things together. So the preparation phase is the same. Initiation is nearly the same, as you also plug and you also start going up, right? But after you start going up and you are about to reach the highest point of going high, you're gonna reach to the side, and there are two main techniques. One is, sorry, I lost my paddle. They're going up, you reach either in front of you on the side, or you go under and you reach behind. What's the difference? The center of the rotation, right? Sometimes you're gonna be rotating through your body, sometimes you're gonna be rotating through your boat. first, before we jump into that, something really simple to address. You guys can see well. Put your paddle on the side for now, and put your hands good to a table position, maybe like a chair, perpendicular angles everywhere, and put your leading hand between your other hand and your knee, and put your shoulder behind hand that stayed on the ground. Alright? Doing that, look through your shoulder. That is very similar move what you're doing in a kayak. You actually reach as high as you can, you fall and catch the water on the side. What's gonna happen? You're gonna catch the water on the side and roll to the front, landing on the second blade. Alright? I'm gonna start again from maybe a little bit more in the back. So I'm plugging in, I'm going up, and as I'm going up, I bring my hand between my other hand and the leg and the knee. I place my shoulder and I push on the blade while following the rotation. So I still look forward, but pressing on my active hand. So I'm looking forward and pressing my active hand. And then I use my other hand to get up. Pretty much what you guys doing here is rolling through your shoulder. And I lost my paddle. With the paddle, same thing. One, go up, look high, catch the side, look through shoulder, and finish with a brace and slide. Alright? So, that was the Space Godzilla and a little drill to help you understand the movement. Now, addressing that rotation I did mention is that rotation. So, going on the side in front is gonna be rotating your body and the boat to the side, while going here in the back is gonna make you go more forwards, but you rotate around your hips, alright? Technicality, try both and see the one you actually prefer the most. So that's those are two exercises for Space Godzilla as well. The most common mistake I would say is the one when people plug in and there is a rotation but there is no air, alright? And there is a great exercise to address that. Think about it. Can you stand up from a crouch and twist your shoulders whilst leaving the hips dead straight, right? So you have your hips dead straight and you start standing up and you want to go up. So if you start twisting too early, look how difficult it gets. You rotate here. So before you actually went up with your boat, you already started rotating. So this is a typical issue, but if you practice this standing up from the crouch and rotating your shoulders while having your hips straight, that's gonna be very helpful for your Space Godzilla and a good workout as well. And if something happens with the boat between loop and the Space Godzilla, what it means, you have to twist the shoulders more on the standing up position, right? So when you're like really high, you get to dive in deeper with your shoulder and add a little bit more twist, right? So pretty much Space Godzilla is a loop with 90 degrees. rotation in the middle. And this rotation means if you want to get 90 degrees on your Space Godzilla with your boat, you have to provide a 90 degrees turn with your shoulders. If you miss a few degrees here, you're gonna miss a few degrees there. It is kind of easier when you throw it there because it's dynamic, right? So that's the difference. And well, yeah, I mean, that was Space Godzilla. So we went from a little bit of tumbling with a loop into a Space Godzilla, and well, hopefully you guys did like it. If you have any questions, please let me know. It was great to, well, I guess in US it's still early, in Europe it's actually quite late already, but I'm glad you guys were with me, and I really hope you did practice. So again, if you have any questions, please let me know. Please send me a message, show me a picture, show me videos of you practicing, and yeah, well, looking forward for those. So now is the time for any questions, if you guys have any questions regarding those. If not, well, that was again second session, indoor to the core with Bartosz Czauderna, freestyle team rider, and yeah, well, I see no questions are popping up. So again, thanks for the session, and make sure you save a date on next Thursday, a week from now. We're gonna do it a bit earlier, so hopefully that's gonna work for you guys better. And yeah, well, we're gonna see you next week, next Thursday. We're gonna be working on lunar orbits and magnastics. Stay in tune.